Hey guys, what's up? It's Mike, and today I'm going to be teaching you some C-sharp programming. Now, I've been wanting to do videos for a while. Some of you guys remember my gaming stuff, and I decided that since I've been doing a lot of coding lately, I figure I might as well share my knowledge with someone. Uh, so that's what we're going to do in this series. They're going to be short videos, and I'm going to be teaching you C-sharp programming. I've been using C Sharp for on and off for about a year or two, and I've ultimately decided that even though I love Visual Basic and it's always going to hold a place in my heart, I ultimately decided that C Sharp was the more mature and much better language. So what we're going to do first of all is we're going to get you started with your first C Sharp application. It's going to be a console application. It's just going to be your standard console application. You can feel free to skip this if you already know this. There will be more advanced tutorials later. So this tutorial is assuming that you already have Visual Studio installed. I'm going to be using the Community 2013 edition, which can be downloaded for free from Microsoft's website. Just doing a quick search will pull it up. You can also use Express. We're just going to be using standard C# tools, nothing fancy that requires special editions. And most of these tutorials, until we get to working with .NET 4.5 exclusive features, will be compatible with previous versions of Visual Studio. So first of all, you're going to want to find your way to your new project tab, and we're just going to click this, and we're going to select not Visual Basic, we're going to select a Visual C Sharp Windows or console application, and we're just going to name it something like first console application. Now this is the most basic application you can do. Pretty much what it does is it's going to open up a command prompt window, which this is a command prompt window, except it's going to be all of our code running in it. So when it's finally done, it is going to pre-generate this program.cs, which in it has these using statements, which basically import some pre-made classes that come from the .NET framework, which, as you know, is required to use C Sharp, etc. So over here we have a namespace, and pretty much the best way to think of a namespace is it's sort of like a folder that contains other classes, or rather something filled with other classes or programs or whatever. So pretty much the easiest way to think of it is as a hierarchy, you know. At the top we have the folder, which would be the namespace. Then we have the class, which you could think of as another folder full of voids, and the voids are the actual files, which these are the voids right here. So it's also pre-generated a static void main. This static void main here is like the entry point. So no matter what programming language you use, there's always going to be a main void. This happens to be C Sharp's implementation. It's a static void, meaning you don't need to have a specific instance of this object to call it, which we will get into that later when we explain more what object-oriented programming is. So pretty much what we're going to do is we're going to call the pre-made classes that will allow us to write into the console. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type here console.writeLine, and then I'm going to type some parentheses, some quotes, and Visual Studio will automatically fill in the others, and I'm going to write hello world exclamation point, and we're going to end our lines with a semicolon. And I just saved. This one thing you want to remember is that most lines of code in C# will end in semicolons. When you actually get down to voids, declaring objects, etc. in here, you're going to require semicolons. But just up here, when you're talking about a void and you're using your squiggly brackets here, you won't need them. But you'll get the hang of it, don't worry. If you've used programming languages like Java before, this is going to be relatively easy. Now, we could run this application right now, but I need to take you through one of the caveats of command prompt application is that if I were to run it right now, it would build and just close right away. If you've ever ran console applications before, you know that when you run them without arguments or whatever, most of the time they just exit when they're done, which is pretty much what's going on here. It's done what it needs to, and so it's exited. So what we're going to do is we're going to call a console.readLine, which is going to give us an opportunity to read the line, pretty much. So there we go. Our console application stuck around for a little bit until we hit enter and it closes. So using these, I want you guys to create a simple console application that writes some stuff. I'm going to go a little more advanced now, and I'm going to do multiple lines. This is a test application. console.writeLine. This was made by Mike. Console.readLine. I apologize for my loud keyboard, by the way, but I love my mechanical keyboard. Have fun. And one more. Whoa. So now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to break this down into chunks for you guys so I can explain it. The easiest way to think of this is in chunks, as I said. So we've got these chunks right here, right? So what it does is it writes the line and it reads the line. It writes the hello world line into the console window and gives you an opportunity to read it. So when you hit enter, it'll move on to the next set, in which it'll print these two lines and then give you a chance to read those. So pretty much, if you're new to programming in general, I wouldn't suggest these videos. Maybe I'll make a video on programming in general and how it works, but pretty much it goes line by line if you're new to it. And yeah, once it's reached that final read line and you've hit enter and it's done with everything, it closes. So let's run this. There's our first hello world. I'm going to hit enter. It's going to display the next lines, and I'm going to hit enter again. And those are the next lines. And then it closes. So yeah, so that was your first C# application. Why don't you go tell your mom that you're now a programmer? I hope you guys enjoyed this video. There will be future tutorials and stuff. So yeah, until next time guys, peace out.